Happy Canada Day, everyone.
Happy Canada Day!
A very special comic came out today on Canada Day.
We stand on
guard.
This is hands down the best comic this week.
Yes. It's up there.
I thought it was pretty good.
There's only like there were two other comics out this week that were...
I read a bunch of really good comics, but I read a lot of Valiant. So.
We know.
Yes, alright.
It's really good. There's another comic called USNA, United States of North America, that's very similar, only in that one, the Americans annex Canada, and it's not sci-fi, it's set in modern day. So it deals with a lot of the differences between the two countries, just on a political and ethical standpoint. This is just like straight out sci-fi. Evil Empire America has come in and taken over Kanakistan and has driven everybody into the wilderness in an effort to get all the stuff that Canada has. Mm-hmm. It's kind of horrifying, really.
Yeah, the first couple pages you're like, destruction on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Massive. Future Ottawa. Like 100 years from now.
With Tim Hortons still existing.
They got giant copies.
Well, they're American now.
Tim Hortons is American.
I don't think I got bought back, did I?
I hope they did.
It's still Canada in my heart. Just like Superman and Wolverine and everybody else.
Wolverine's still technically American. They made him Canadian. Created by Americans.
I think we can all say that we really hate the U.S. in this comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Like, there's
not
just
being pleasant.
the White House gets sort of blowed up, and they're like, before there's any kind of confirmation on who did it, they're like, Canada did it. Blame Canada.
Yeah,
And,
almost like within minutes. Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised by this, especially the artwork by Steven. I can't pronounce his last name.
The designs are really interesting too.
Yeah.
Skorsky?
Skorsky.
We tried to pronounce this before, didn't we?
Skorsky.
Yeah, we're terrible at pronunciation, and we apologize for it.
Yeah.
I love this.
I just remember like the preview pages that came out with like Saga and stuff. I wasn't liking the look of it, and then this I was like, oh, I actually really like this guy's work.
I think I loved when I opened it up. It was very much Canada. Like the guys wearing flannel.
Yeah.
Like
CBC.
Well, even like the test the Resistance gives the Survivor.
Yeah.
Over like, are you really a Canadian? They're like, who won the cup in like '84?
Yeah. She's like, I was 5 years old.
And I don't like hockey.
Yeah.
Like,
Not Canadian if you don't like hockey.
I don't like hockey.
I don't like hockey.
Oh,
We just lost all our viewership.
Not necessarily.
I really like her suit design, and I kind of want to make it for someone.
Display that. No, the costume design in this is really, really good.
I like how there's a famous actress in here. She says Liz LePage, the actor. Like.
Well, it would be future actors.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
100 years from now.
I know, but I'm just thinking it's funny. She's like, oh.
I also feel like a terrible
it shows-
Canadian because I definitely had to sit down and go translate the French guy.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So
I don't
much French.
speak any French, so I
So
didn't bother.
much
Wasn't
French.
it just what they said in English, but in French?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
What did he say?
In that first one, he's like, I'm surprised you know me from the famous... He's like, oh, I'm surprised you recognize me. I told you I wasn't a famous man. Yeah. And then I didn't... And then I was like, too much typing for the rest of whatever he said, so I was like, I'll go back another time.
I just assumed that it was just repeating what
Nope.
was said in English.
I assumed too, and then I actually...
Alright.
And I was like, oh, nope, not at all. He's actually saying things. Yep, saying
I'll
new
have to reread
information.
that then.
And I think it's going to make a really good trade, but I think the same thing about the Spire, which I think the rest of you were less enamored with.
I couldn't finish it. And I was like, I was one of the first people that saw it was coming out, and I was really excited. But
Yeah, okay, so for the past like 3-4 months, there have been advertisements in comics that are just saying, what is the Spire? And we've all been very, very excited to find out what is the Spire.
Yep.
And this week the Spire finally came out. And I really dug it. But we were chatting about this earlier, and apparently I'm the only
Wait.
one.
See, the problem with, like, when we're doing the order, we build up this elaborate story in our head of what it's going to be.
yeah.
And then we read it, and we're sadly disappointed.
Well, what did you think it was going to be? I'm curious.
I didn't really know. I just read the quotes from creators. I was like, these are all good writers and good creators. This must be to be something that's awesome.
Just kind of like looking at the cover, which was in the previews.
Yeah, the
I
poster.
kind of assumed it would be more like a Mad Max story, but it's very contained in the city, and the character wasn't at all what I thought she was going to be.
Yeah. She's a
So-
lot.
She's a cop.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
Okay, so the Spire, spoilers. Well, it's like a high fantasy post-apocalyptic setting, so
Still, I thought she was gonna be some carefree rogue. That's what that says to me.
Yeah.
That's
It's very it's like what's the game? The Assassin's game.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, actually.
But like that's how she's sitting. That's what I like. That's what I pose an Assassin's Creed character would make. Just sitting on the edge of something, overlooking an entire city, really high up.
The Spire is this gigantic, like, Tower of Babylon-esque thing that towers into the sky in the middle of nowhere, and, like, different levels are different communities and heroes. And there's clearly been some sort of genetic manipulation been going down, and the people that were genetically modified were used in some sort of war, which they won, but then lost, pirate victory sort of thing, and now they're sort of downplayed and looked down upon, so there's this underlying racial tension going on, which I dig. And the main character is a cop who is thrust into this weird world and is not of any, like, is a different sort of genetic monster than the others. Like, there's nothing else like her in the Spire, which they've outright said very, very strongly. So
All
that's
the time. Whenever they can.
very clearly going to be some kind of plot point.
There's the random, totally unrelated first page. I'm sure that'll matter later in the
Yeah.
story, but
Again, it's going to make a much better trade than it is going to be single issues, which again tends to be a lot of what Boom and Image are about.
everything more or less goes through the trade.
Yeah.
For the first issue, I'd say it's definitely a weaker one. Just because like they were trying to throw too much information at you without explaining enough, I feel.
Yep.
It's like half the story is about these little creature things, and you have no idea what
how they're
is
even
going on.
relevant.
Yeah.
That it's a very, very rich world, but it's not, I think, what any of us were expecting.
Yeah.
I'll probably pick up the second issue just to like see if it makes a little bit more sense.
I'm going to read the whole damn thing. Like, I actually really enjoyed it, but
Also, the artwork wasn't what I was expecting based
Yeah.
off the cover. A little wonky. Actually, I did really like the moment where after she's done with her lover, she goes and answers the door.
Completely naked.
Yeah, completely naked. She's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, breasts, out of bounds breasts, untouched by the hand of man breasts.
yeah. Gold Star lesbian.
Yeah.
The Woods came out. It's issue number 14, and there's quite a bit of development for this mystery that was built up in the last couple issues, where one of the characters saw a little symbol that everyone was sort of freaking out about, and she's been trying to figure out what it is. And we find out in this issue, which, I didn't think it was going to be that.
I don't know if that's it all that's there anyway. This is a really complex book.
It is, very much so.
I know Jenna and I are massive, massive fans of it. Basically, this high school gets
Haven't
warped
read it
to
yet.
spoilers.
No.
And I mean, the first trade is out.
I know.
You
Two
should,
trades.
you should pick it up.
I should.
It down
Should've picked
Maybe
it up
Big
at
T's Comics.
Yeah, you should have picked it up at
Well,
Big T's
with
Comics.
the sale
Yeah.
through July, but I already
Buy
cashed in
four,
on
get
that
one free.
sale the other day.
God,
so now
well,
I'm
now
broke.
I'm gonna have to go in there. I want Supreme Blue Rose, and I know that trade came out today too. There's a dog just sort of wandering around in the background.
We love animals.
So this is Seamus.
Seamus!
Unofficial mascot.
He's my furry brother.
We've had
Nerdcouver.
cats, now we have a dog. Oh, Seamus, you want to hang out? You
So
want
high
to
school
play?
gets warped into a completely alien world, and the various shit goes down. The student council ends up taking over, and now this horrible, horrible human being is making a play for power.
Yeah.
And
By taking a plant that causes hallucinogens.
yep,
And trying to sell it to the students.
yep.
So,
He's basically being like, yeah, if you take my drug, it'll give you visions of home, and you all miss home, right?
yeah.
And then he gets them addicted and gets them to do like terrible, terrible things, like kill themselves,
Yeah.
so that he can do political things. He's a horrible human being.
He really is. So,
Yeah.
Definitely hoping he dies soon.
Yeah. Really interesting mix, I find, of just really, really good character development with really strange background stuff.
Yeah.
Because we really have no understanding of this world or anything going on with it. We still don't understand why they were taken to this place. And they've discovered that different people from different time periods have been taken there.
Yeah. So you've got like medieval people, you've got like present day, and then you've got like cavemen almost.
Yeah, we've got like Vikings somewhere. Like it's a really, really in-depth and well thought out book, and it gets better by the issue.
Yeah. It's I believe it's only gonna be 32 issues or so. So we're about halfway there.
Wow.
My pick of the week is Star Wars Princess Leia, because it's the last issue. And I love this series from issue 1 because it picked up right off where the last movie left off, where she's like putting the medal on Chewie and everything. And then she basically goes on this giant adventure with this girl named Yvonne, who is basically like a female Han Solo. Like she doesn't like Leia at the beginning, but she like believes in the royalists and stuff like that, and is upset with her because she's not like bawling her eyes out about losing her parents and blah blah blah.
Not just the parents; it's the entire planet.
Yeah.
Like Alderaan is gone. She's the princess of nothing.
Yeah, well, but that's not like that. She's trying to make her drive home. That she's like not even crying about her parents, like let alone the whole planet. But it's like at the same time, a leader can't cry because they have to be like. If you see a leader cry, then you're like, oh, hope is lost, and throw your hands up in the air and run away. But like, it leads to them going on this adventure to save all the Alderaanians and the ones that are left that are scattered through different planets. And it's interesting because there's some deception, and there's a traitor among them who works. And this comic is
phenomenal.
It is called The Empire.
It's
evil ones.
The evil empire.
It's a good wrap-up comic, and I'm excited because
it's really good artwork.
Yeah,
it's really good storytelling. It's Mark Waid. I mean, you know what you're getting with a Mark Waid comic. Which is to say, really good writing and character development.
But like the exchange between her and Yvonne in the end is just like really heartwarming because like they've come to a understanding, and like they each respect each other now, and
we're friends.
Yeah, and I don't think Leia actually has that many friends, to be perfectly honest. She has a lot of people around her, but not a lot of friends.
Followers.
Yeah. And next week, Lando.
Woo!
My pick of the week. It's either got to be Deadly. Me being like the giant DC guy I am. I'd like to talk about Deadly Class and Groot.
So
What else? What actually
very
came?
good DC titles.
What actually came
Deadly
out for
Class is
DC?
Yeah, it's true. It is DC,
Vertigo?
but no, it's
Image.
but it's
D-
DC.
Uh,
We got Deadly Class. I know last month I said that I was probably not going to read this until the trade, but gave it a shot anyways, and it was amazing. Pretty much this picks up sometime after the events of last issue.
Oh god, the heartbreaking events of last issue.
And so I guess the excuse that the people who killed Maria last issue just wrote a random "I'm leaving you" letter to Marcus, and he's just like heartbroken over it.
Okay,
and,
so again, because context is one of those things where it's a high school. It's a madcap high school romp with assassins.
Yep.
So these homeless kids or cartel kids or whatever else are basically taken off the street,
Yakuza,
and they're being taught how to murder people better. And the cartel comes after one of them, and the main character is in love with her. And
sort of.
Yeah. Well, he is, but he's also crazy.
He is crazy. He's
horribly broken.
Nah, I don't know. I think he going through the complex of wanting what he can't have, because when he was with Maria, he's like, yeah, this is fun, but I like Saya more. And then he gets with Saya, and he's like, I've made a terrible mistake. And then Groot, which was also amazing and hilarious and cute. Probably just this appeals to my I want more old Disney movies all the time because that's what the artwork is. It's the classic Disney style.
He's so happy.
Yeah, most of the comic is more or less. First part is he's drifting through space and then he hallucinates a planet Groot, where everybody is just Groots,
and they can all understand him.
Yeah, you got Iron Man Groot,
Doctor
Garlic
Strange
Groot.
Groot, the Watcher Groot.
Yeah,
Galactus Groot.
Galactus.
Look how happy he is.
Yes, Groot is very happy, and then the rest of the comic is pretty much just a flashback of how him and Rocket met, how their friendship developed, and how Rocket grew to understand his 3 words is more than just 3 words. And then it kind of just concludes with him figuring out where Rocket is and going off to save him.
Aww.
So again, not a lot of development, but the artwork was adorable and the story was just heartwarming.
The two of them were good for each other.
Yes, and I just didn't expect to like this comic as much as I did for like an impulse buy of Pete going, read this. And I'm like, I'll do it. Now I love it, and now it's probably going to ruin. It's actually, I loved it so much it ruined my 3 comics a week rule.
Oh, you're getting 4?
Yes, I'm getting 4. The other one's Secret Wars.
I feel
That one was okay. But I'm
feel-
not talking about that anymore.
I'm done with Secret Wars. So-
Done like
so
Convergence done?
Yes, actually.
No, I'm liking this more. As
So-
in, I'm actually reading it, unlike Convergence that I avoided like the plague.
You know, Convergence, Secret Wars, if it was like a self-contained thing, I would be totally all over, but it's not. It's tainted every other bloody Marvel comic.
Except Groot.
With like a handful of exceptions. Groot being one of them, the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl being another,
Yeah, that's ending pretty fast, isn't it?
sadly. But she's becoming a member of the Avengers. So,
yes.
I'm totally
With
okay
that-
with that.
We got to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. So this is one of my picks of the week, and this is a comic that consistently surprises me because I never expect it to be anything good, and then it ends up being incredible. It's
Squirrelicorn. Squirrelicorn.
actually it's okay. It is, but it's tied to Norse mythology. Okay, so Norse mythology, there's a squirrel deity that I'm not even going to be able to pretend to pronounce the name, but it runs up and down Yggdrasil, the world tree, and delivers messages for everybody else. But it's also a terrible, terrible troublemaker and a bit of a gossip.
He's a squirrel. What do you want
Yes.
from him?
So they've taken that to the nth degree and been like, okay, so the squirrel is the ultimate troll, and just it causes so much gossip problem that it makes even the most basic argument worse. So like Thor and Thor are out at like an IHOP,
Oh god.
and one of them has ordered waffles and the other one has ordered pancakes, and everybody takes note of this and they actually start to riot because people are like, no, pancakes, waffles, and
Who ordered which? That's
I don't remember, but what
this is the important question of the week.
no, because
What?
Squirrel Girl and her team, which at this point includes Koi Boy, who has all of the powers of a koi and the ability to talk to koi, like the fish,
He's got
and
fish
Chipmunk
eyes.
Hunk, who is effectively the same thing but with chipmunks, go in and manage to like calm the argument down until somebody is like, no, my French toast is the best, and totally kicks it off again. The Avengers are all sort of arguing amongst themselves, so they end up having to like, Squirrel Girl beats them all up and takes Captain America's phone. You've got like this running commentary going on at the bottom of every page that just makes it better. The artwork is like very cartoony and fun, and it's just like all over the place. And it's fantastic. It's just really, really fun. So it's Exo Manowar. It's not a wedding of the century. It's a wedding like 1,400 years in the making.
Oh.
Within the context of this book. It's just a lot of fun and really good character development and a whole whack of it. There's a certain degree of tragedy to it. One of the tragic elements of it is that Eric was married 1,400 years ago. His wife was not abducted, so she's long dead. One of the people that he rescued, however, he fell in love with. And the two of them have a relationship, and he's been unable to reconcile the feelings he still has for his wife, who he'll never be able to talk to again, and the feelings that he has for his new lover. And they recently introduced a character named Dr. Mirage, who is a medium. So Eric was actually able to talk to his wife and find out what happened to her. And she actually gives him her blessing to get married and to be happy. And so we get this incredibly touching moment between Eric and his dead wife, and then an incredibly poignant speech by Eric's new bride-to-be. The wedding is phenomenal. You get like a bunch of the other characters. Like in any other company, this would be like a major crossover event. Valiant is like, no, we can just self-contain this and it's going to be fine. People are going to get it. And it's actually a really, really good jumping on point for anybody who is looking for like a new comic series to get into.
Nope, I'm not looking for a new stuff. I'm looking for a series to jump off.
Yep. It's
Jump off the Spire.
honestly the best of all
Yeah, I've
comics.
jumped off this one.
It's one of those things that I joke about it being the best of all comics, but it's not a joke. There is no comic that maintains the level of quality that this one does, and can jump between like the sillier aspects of superhero stuff, weird history, just a tragic nobility, and it has such a depth and a range to it that there's nothing else like it.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Happy Canada Day! See you in San Diego. Which will be
Some of you.
colder than here.
Yay.